Right guys, welcome back to another Kinomentor tutorial. So in this section we're going to be talking about the UV coordinate space. So as you build surfaces in Maya, let's say for example I'm going to create a surface here, polygon primitive plane. When you look at it, they're created with their own coordinate space that is defined by U in one direction and V in another one. Okay, so U and V directions. And you can use these coordinates when you're working with curve on surface objects or when you're positioning textures on the surface. So if you go under in the menu here, UV editor, you will see that this surface in the UV world has starts from a 0, goes all the way to 1, and it's a flat representation of what you're seeing in your viewport here. Okay, so exactly what you're seeing here is what's being shown here. So it's easily seen as a UV representation, and one corner of the surface acts as the origin of the system, and all the coordinates lie directly on the surface. You can make surfaces live, for example, in order to work directly in the UV coordinate space. So let's look at that. If I just select my geometry and I go under modify and say make live, I can make this surface live, and now this plane is live, and I can draw directly on it. Now if I select a curve and I start drawing, it's drawing on that surface. Right now it's difficult to see this because it's a flat surface, but in order to make things live, for example, I will say modify make not live in order for this to be not live. But if I create now as an example a sphere, and now I go under modify and say make live, what happens when I start drawing the curve, it's actually drawing on the surface of the sphere. All right, so if I delete the sphere now, modify and say make not live, you will see that it was made in 3D based on the attributes and the surface of the sphere, right? So the point is, for this lesson, is to understand that there is a UV coordinate space that exists in Maya. So if I just go and, for example, create now a NURBS curve, let's say a CV curve tool, what you will see immediately when I create a couple of points is two things. There is a U direction. I mean, you can see it here. Yeah, it creates a U, very difficult to see somehow. I'm just gonna try to zoom in and show you this. There we go. Here is the U. All right, now, and as you go and create along, you will have a viewpoint. So even the simplest of curves has a UV function. So remember that, because you will be encountering that as you work along.